Okay guys, so last lesson I showed you how to put your background onto your skateboard and make it so that it was skateboard shaped. So this lesson we're going to start putting some of the objects in there. So let's open our images, our folder. So to do that, you just press File, Open, or the shortcut is Command O. So let's start with this giraffe. And you know, it's a fine giraffe, but I don't want the background in there. I just want the giraffe's head. So what we're going to do is we're going to use the magnetic lasso tool on this one. So the magnetic lasso tool is here just under the marquee tool. If it doesn't look like that, you can hold down the clicker on the tool and then select which one you want. So there's lasso, polygonal lasso, and the magnetic. So we want the magnetic lasso tool for this one. And what we're going to do is we basically want to cut out the shape of this head and then move it onto the skateboard. So I might want to zoom in on this. So to zoom in on the image, we press Command and then plus. So Command plus. And that's much better. So I've got a much bigger view of what I'm doing. So the way this works is basically you start at a point and then you very carefully with your mouse trace around the image as close as possible as you can. And then once you've gone all the way around, we click back again on this point that we started. So let's try it. So we're going to start on the top of the ear and then very, very quickly, and you don't have to hold the clicker down. We're just going to trace around the outside of the image. So it is important that you're careful, otherwise the tool will just start tracing the air, and we don't want that, or the background, sorry, not the air. So we want to be definitely as careful as we can be here. So you can click on points along the way if that makes you feel better about doing it. It's not necessary, but you know, it's a good kind of practice to get into. And once you've clicked on it, you'll see the flashing lines around the outside, which means that it's a selected area. So another thing I should tell you is if you're doing this, you're tracing around the outside and you miss a bit, you go off track and it kind of doesn't look like what you want it to, just press escape and that'll stop the tool from working. So we're going to move this onto our skateboard now. So with the move tool selected up the top, we drag it up and drag it back down to here. Okay, so as we can see, it's on top here. And the reason it's on top is because Photoshop works in layers, basically. So we've got a background layer, which is, you know, this thing. Then on top of that, we've got our skateboard template. And on top of that, we've got our background. And then on top of that, we've got our images. So if you change the order and drag this down, we can't see the giraffe head anymore because it's behind the background layer. So whatever we're working on, we kind of want it to be at the front here. So I'm going to zoom in on my work, and you know, that's kind of interesting. We've kind of got a giraffe head instead of a tree. So I might do a series of these, but I might make it a little bit smaller. So we'll do the Command T. And what I'm going to do is, because I like this and I want to kind of repeat it throughout, I'm going to press Command C and Command V, and that's going to give me another one. And then I'm going to kind of spread them out as if they're trees. So remember, we also want to, we're kind of being inspired by Reg Mombassa here, and he kind of does some pretty wacky out there things. He kind of abstracts stuff, he uses repetition. So we're kind of going for that aesthetic as well with our skateboard design. I mean, you know, we'll like have a little bit of variation here and there, but we kind of want to do that. So if we zoom out, you can see that I've now got, they kind of look like trees from a distance. So we're adding bits on here to make it a kind of interesting and serene kind of landscape. So we might just get another one. And we'll do the same magnetic lasso around the outside. And see here, I didn't do it quite as neatly. Okay, so we've selected it, we'll just move it over here. Change the size. And this time we're going to put it there. And the reason why that's okay there is I'll show you in the next tutorial or the one after. So keep watching, but have a go at practicing moving some of your images on here. And we're gonna, you know, put some stuff in the sky, put, you know, maybe you want to have a cityscape in a weird spot like on top of Uluru. It's up to you. So use your imagination here and really make it an interesting design. And keep an eye out for the next tutorial.